it's a fascinating time right now in college football as it is still labeled the Power Five, but if you're only as strong as your weakest link, then there's no power here in the five. The Pac 12 is trying to figure out their next move. Their contracts will be expiring soon, and USC and UCLA just hit the dips. And all of these other football programs are trying to figure out what is the next move for them. So they are holding very legitimate conversations with the Big 12 about how they could work together. Really, can we help you? Can you help us? But I think the Pac 12 was like, how do we stay afloat? And what seemingly was the only conclusion they could reach is that it only made sense is if there was a merger, if they came together. Now, I don't know what they would have done about naming the league or whatever it was, revenue splits, but they could not come to an agreement, and those talks have broke down. It's hard to figure out, Donnie, where the best starting point is for such a complicated story like this, but I guess the best thing I could come up with would be to ask you, do you think a Big 12 Pac-12 merger would have made sense?
No, I don't. I don't, because when you add more teams in, Kevin, you're going to divvy up more pieces of the pie. It's the reason why you see these big guys leaving, like USC and UCLA. Why would the Big Ten want them? Because they're a massive market and a massive draw nationally. So you bring those two, I like to say, organizations in, not just schools anymore, since it seems like we are now professional sports in college. You bring those two in, there's more food at the table for everybody in the Big Ten. Let's flip it over here to the Big 12. We say, okay, we're going to lose our flagship programs here, Oklahoma and Texas. We get it, but we're going to add some other bigger markets in. And then you say, okay, it looks like we have our sights set on the exact teams that we need. The Pac-12 blows up, and then you're saying, okay, 4 to 5 teams reach out to the Big 12, Kevin, and they say, let us in. We think we can add to your conference. They crunch the numbers and do the math, and let's just use like fictitious terms here. Let's just say each and every school in the Big 12 right now would be getting $50 million annually from the TV deal, the way it's dissected, even with the new teams they brought in. Now you're looking for an additional 4 teams to go, well, hold on now. We added these 4 teams in here, Kevin, the Oregons, the Arizona States, the Arizonas, but now everybody's only getting $45 million a year as opposed to the 50. Or if you added those 4 teams in, everybody gets $65 million a year because they added value. They're crunching numbers right now in the commissioner's office at the Pac-12, the Big 12, as well as, the SEC and the ACC, who makes sense, because you're not just bringing teams into your conference to make it, hey, it's a numbers game. We got 20 teams. It's the bottom line. You're bringing in teams that are going to add an investment into your league, and you'll be profitable more so than what you were the day before. And we're looking right now at these Pac-12 teams, Kevin, and saying to ourselves, what are you actually bringing to the table to the Big 12? Apparently not enough.